The return of A.J. Owens. Oh, man, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Hope all had a great weekend. Happy Cinco de Mayo to you, and happy Margarita Day. Holy cow. Never leave it alone when it comes to the Eagle drama. So, I'm watching a picture, and I'm looking at the picture of A.J. Owens in his engagement. What do I see? See a bunch of the Eagle players there, and look at that. There's Devontae. Is that Saquon? Is that Saquon Barkley there? Oh, there's Saquon. Shit, I even see Isaiah Rodgers. Look at that. There's a big old picture of the big engagement. Look at this right here. I think Young Watson. Yeah, I think that's the Kobe over there. I don't know. A couple of his boys. What's not there? Who's not there? Let me guess. His Highness. His Highness is not there. King Hurts must have another scheduling conflict. Must have to do The View. He's really popular with The View. Holy cow. Hit the like button. Supers go to the top. Oh, yeah, no, excuse me. That's Anus Smith there. Let me double check. Yep, there he is. Anus Smith. That's him right there. Look at him. There's A.J. Owens. Holy shit, man. They got the whole crew there. Except for one guy. His Highness. King Hurts. Another scheduling conflict. He can't see the President of the United States, and he can't go to the engagement of his so-called star wide receiver. This shit never gets old. It just never gets old, man. Good for them. Hey, you have to have a little hatred and a little drama. By the way, you don't have to love every one of your teammates. You got to kind of like them, though. I mean, the guy wasn't even invited from what we know. Oh, by the way, everyone's like, Hurts is on his honeymoon. Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's on his honeymoon. Keep making excuses up for His Highness. Hey, no problem. I don't have a problem with that. You don't have to love your boys. It's funny. Xander was telling me about Malik Neighbors. How come when the players say it, and then I have been telling you something since the beginning of this program, players don't get paid on wins or Super Bowl titles. Nobody in the history of football gets paid on that shit. They get paid on their excellence and their numbers. Malik Neighbors goes, hey, I work all week long. I'm paraphrasing here. I study the playbook. We do everything. And when I'm open and you don't get me to football, that's so on you. We get paid by me being open and making catches. It affects my money. Exactly. You guys think you're paid because the Eagles have won a ton of football games. That's not why you're paid. You're paid on the numbers you put up. Sacks, pressures, running yards, and also passing yards. Hurts is really the only guy that doesn't get paid on numbers. He gets paid because, well, he's the king now. It's scheduling conflicts. All right. Hey, keep winning. It's all right. No problem. Keep winning. Man, you imagine you're supposed to be public boys and all that stuff that BG, by the way, the love fest going on at WIP this morning. I seriously, I had to turn the volume down because I was getting a little bit queasy in the fact that the admiration for another man. I get it, but holy cow. I mean, I thought those guys were going to ask him out on a date in the morning. John Ritchie. Even the owner called him. We'll talk about it because he said something interesting that was in that conversation about Brandon Graham. So I guess it's like BG Day in Philadelphia. All right. Hey, congratulations. Outstanding career. How long are you going to carry this on? I mean, let's move. Hey, next page. Not even the Patriots did it for Brady. There weren't like endless months of going on and on about Tom Brady when he left and went to the Buccaneers. Come on now. Holy cow, that thing this morning was uncomfortable. How about the host, Mr. Laurie? Hold on. I got to do it right. Here, this is the only way that you could do a show on WIP nowadays because Angelo's not there. Hey, Mr. Laurie, the owner of the Eagles, I want to just tell you how awesome it is that you're here in our lives, in our community. My wife would tell you, those guys are the perfect hosts for the modern day. You know why? They keep their jobs. As kissing keeps your gig. She's right. Hey, you want to work Monday? Here. I'm just wiping my mouth off here a little bit. Mr. Laurie, I hope you had a great weekend. And I just want to tell you how awesome it is that you're in my community and what you've done for all of us. Thank you very much. Hold on, I got a little bit more on my lips. Let me get it off. I mean that in a good way. Hold on here. Yeah, Mr. Laurie, I want to tell you how much I love you, and I wish you were my dad. I was like, dude, I got to turn this down to dad. Holy shit. Do your job, guy. Hey, man, no question. You can thank the guy for being a great owner, and he is. I'm starting to like him even more. But, whoa. It's just like, hey, nowadays in Philly, not saying anybody in particular, but nowadays in Philly, when you cover the Eagles, you have to do this. Even a few guys I know. What's this? This is how you cover Howie. Did I get it all? Holy cow, man. You talk about getting uncomfortable. Jesus criminy. Oh, just checking it out there. And then now you got the crazy drama between AJ Owens, or is there drama? So what do you make of Owens not inviting Hurts to his engagement? Okay? What do you make of that? Any drama, you think? Look at it. Look at this. That's how you cover the Eagles. Hey, if you're the fans and you're the media, you guys cover them like this now. Howie, I love you. Howie season. How do I look? Do I look okay? Am I presentable to the GM and to the head coach? Oy vey, give me a break. I mean, hey, unbelievable. I thought it was really awesome listening to it, though. We'll talk about it. OTAs are coming up here on the 27th of May. Also, mandatory minicamp, June 10th. The rookies just had their 2-day camp this past weekend. We'll talk about that. And then we are now 83 days out from training camp. I just told Xander, you're less than 3 months away from the start of the pro football season now. Are you ready? Give yourselves a grade on what you think the offseason has been so far for the Eagles. What do you think? What has the offseason been? The offseason has been what? So far, hey, let's do this. How many days since February 9th? How many days has it been since Feb 9? How many days? How many days has it been since February 9th? It's been 85 days. Oh, isn't that crazy? It's 85 days since you won the Super Bowl, and it's 83 days to the start of training camp. So in the last 85 days, it's been what? Name me a place you got better. Just one place you got better. You didn't get better than the offensive coordinator. OC, you didn't get better. Name me one place you got better. If you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, one place. I'll take it. Name me one place you got better. Long snapper. Okay? Long snapper. Got a better linebacker. Who? We got a better linebacker. We got better at linebacker. With who? With who? How'd you get better at linebacker? You got a guy who's not going to play this year. Says we got better and more drama. That's good. Way to go, Kyle. Thank you. Where did you get better? Hey, this guy says A- offseason. Okay. Where did you get better? Youth on the team? That's not getting better. Name me a place you got better. I mean, any place. Hell, you can say whatever you want about the Commanders. They got better at left tackle and number 2 wide receiver. You may not like those moves. Hey, for the record about the Commanders, will the guys they brought in elevate their game enough to make them a true contender in the NFC this year? That's a question mark for those guys. Are those guys going to elevate them? They're good ball players. Okay, it is. The Commanders have added good players. Who have you added? Just, again, all I'm asking, you got better at running back? With who? How'd you get better at running back? How'd you get better at running? You don't even know your own team right now. Name me one place that you got better. You can't. How about this question? Name me a place you got worse at. OC. D-line. Secondary. Right? Depth. Absolutely. So you got worse at coordinator, D-line, secondary, and depth. How is that an A- offseason? I'm missing this. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You got better at running back. Somebody posted that in here for a guy who didn't play all of last year just about. That's right. That's all this is. You got better on theories. You got a theory that you're going to be better at linebacker because the kid you drafted who won't play this year until the midseason is going to make your linebacking core better. Okay? Where else? Safety? Theory. D-line? Theory. You have nothing substantial. Here, I think the Rams got better at wideout. Why? Well, because they added Devontae Adams. And now they've got Stafford. Here's the key with the Rams. Can they keep Stafford upright? They got issues. I'm not saying teams across the board don't have issues themselves and more issues than the Eagles. Your issues, again, it's an unknown commodity on defense right now. You guys are giving more credence to the coaching staff than you are the talent on the field. Here, there's only certainties on a few players on defense. Bond, Carter, Q, Cooper. The rest of them, fill in the blank. I'm certain Malott and Lane are good. I'm certain that Dickerson's good. I'm pretty certain Cam's good. I'm certain your quarterback's good. Your 2 wideouts, your running back. That's all a certainty. You have 3 certainties on defense. back. Nolan Smith is not a certainty. Fucker's still injured. Won't be available for any OTAs. Look at this guy. It's a certainty, Nolan Smith. I got to tell you, I'll tell you one more time. I think Jalen Hunt's going to have a better season than him. Yeah, I know. Nolan Smith is a certainty. He's injured. He's coming off of surgery. But it's a certainty. I'm just trying to figure out right now your offseason. Here. Let's get into the topics. I just got off the front page. Never leave it where the Eagles don't have some storylines. I have not covered this team yet where there haven't been storylines. Okay? Okay. Just like you regularly say, during jerseys and hats, we'll see how the plan plans out. Absolutely. Bob. Well, but Bob, you would agree. I'm pretty sure what the offense looks like. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure what they have on that side of the ball. I'm pretty sure of that. So let's do this. Well, let's ask this question then right out of the gate. Will the Eagles defense be able to overcome the personnel losses this year? Isn't that the main question? Isn't that the number one question? Hey, Bob, isn't that the number one question so far this offseason? Will the defense be able to overcome all the personnel losses? Right? You have no personnel losses on offense. Well, God will be gone June 1. Okay? Who's playing safety? Who's playing corner? Who's playing the other linebacker? Who's playing your D-line, really? And by the way, you don't even have a position for Jahad Campbell yet. You don't even know where that guy's going to play. Is he going to play linebacker? Is he going to play edge? By the way, so you're going to take a kid's skill set in college. Now, I will say they've had a success of doing this. And that's a great take there, Flexen. And the Eagles downgraded at tight end. You haven't gotten better anywhere, and you downgraded at tight end. Look at this. Lost no one special except the special number one ranked defense. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. You didn't have anybody exceptional last year, but you had an exceptional unit. Again, RC3, you have no idea. You can have the greatest players and not have the best team. Take a look at what they had in Dallas. Dallas had 2 Pro Bowl corners and Micah Parsons, and they were down in the bottom 5 in defense. Okay? Moro Ojoma's still here. Moro Ojoma will be beat out. If you're saying Moro Ojoma, he'll be beat out. Let me ask you this. If Vic Fangio thought that Moro Ojoma was better than Milton Williams, would he have started him? Would he have started him? Yes. Isaiah Rodgers, he thought was better than Keely Ringo. He played him more. Why are you lying to yourselves when what they did a year ago? Let me tell you this. Like I said, the Eagles knew a year ago they weren't going to pay Milton Williams. They never offered him a contract. They knew they were never going to pay Josh Sweat. Why? Because they had asked them to take less money. They were never going to pay him. They knew last September they weren't paying those guys. So don't you think in that process, if Vic thought he had better players, they would have started that transition a year ago? Use your brains. Get this. So here's the flaw in this idiot's case. If Vic is such a great coordinator, what happened in Miami? What happened in Miami where he bombed as a D coordinator? What happened? Anybody know? You know why he bombed? Because he didn't have the good personnel. My God almighty. This guy thinks the coordinator makes the defense. It's the Jimmies and Joes that make it work. When Campbell gets healthy, I hope they give him the opportunity to do it all. Why suppress talent instead of letting it grow? Well, that means you got to come up, JD3, with a position. Okay? Top 10 defense that year. Really, at the end of the season, the Miami Dolphins were falling on their face. You mean in sacks. Okay? Help me out here. Dude, you have the Eagles put themselves in a position to overcome the losses on the defensive side of the football? I don't believe so. I think you're in the 15 area right now. I don't think that's bad. Dude, eventually your offense has got to stand up and help your defense. Last year was your defense helping your offense. The only reason that you won that Super Bowl a year ago was because you ran the ball exceptionally well, better than any team in the league, and you were the best defensive unit in the league. You've got to duplicate that again for you to win the Super Bowl. End of story. Okay, get this. What the fuck is this guy hearing? Again, another numbnut who just had some sort of stupid-ass common sense about him not even being available. If this guy's saying Campbell isn't good, who said that? He didn't even miss a game last year playing through it. He's not available according to your general manager, asshole. I'm just saying it. Hey, Zach, your fucking GM said it. Are you an idiot? I'm going by what your general manager's saying, numbnuts. Your general manager is saying it. This guy is saying that I made that comment. Howie Roseman a week ago on the Rich Eisen show said that. What the fuck are you talking about? You took me making it up. I didn't make that up. Your general manager said it. Sills, I think there are bigger questions on the offensive side than on the defense. Interesting take. They have talent on O that did not play to potential most of the season. Can they get fast and buy Vic some time? Again, I think that last year, think about it. The offense never really clicked. It was Barkley. They realized that they couldn't duplicate the 23 and trying to make the kid grow quarterback because the quarterback is never going to – the quarterback is who he is. He's never going to get better. We're 6 years in now. That's who that guy is. You think he's all of a sudden going to have an epiphany and be some electric quarterback at the pocket and carry a team 17 weeks? That's not going to be him. I mean, what are we, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 20. Fuck, we're 7 years in. Right? Did he get here in 19 or 20? I forget. 20. So it's 6 years. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is 6 years. This is who this guy is. He's not going to get any better and he doesn't have any more talent hidden away. That's who that guy is. Joe Burrow is who he is. Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, the key is building around these guys and putting pieces on the offense that help the deficiencies of each of these quarterbacks. You're not going to get any better. You may see the game better, which is important, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah. Here is the flaw in your argument. Okay. If you continue to question the GM does not get a hall pass because of last year. That's a different year. 23% of the rosters in the NFL are turned over. The Eagles this year had more because of contracts. There's the flaw in yours. You're giving the GM credit for something that happened 85 days ago, and he ripped apart. It's not the same team. It's not the same roster. What are you talking about, Anthony? The fundamental flaw in your take right there is you're assuming the GM is going to retool with rookies and free agents. That's your flaw. Am I right? Okay. And it's not the same coaching staff the last 7 years. There's not a guy on that football team outside of Jeff Stoutland that has been there 7 years. Facts. Facts. And the majority. Hey, and by the way, the guys you had questions on a year ago were in the building 3-4 years. Josh Sweat, Milton Williams. All of those guys were in the building. How many guys are on the football team right now that have more than, let's take a look at this. How many guys on the football team now have more than 3 years experience on the Eagle depth chart? Let's see. On defense. Ojomo's been in the building. Davis. Carter. Zach Bond, 2 years, still all pro. He gets it. N'Kobe. He's been in the building. He gets it. Huff, non-starter. Q, 2 years, he gets it. Reed. Keeley. All these guys been in on the team. Cooper, 2 years. Let's take a look at the backups. Ty Robinson, none. Booker, yes. Jalix Hunt, 2. John Campbell, none. Aziz Ojulari, none. Adoree Jackson, none. Andrew Makuba, none. Mac Williams, none. Perry Nicholson, none. All of the people that you had with the great depth of a year ago, you didn't have that issue a year ago. None of it. You had depth and you had swing people in the building. Guys, you can sit here and have all kinds of conversations aimed at me. We're having a conversation today. And those who want to make it personal on me, have at it. You'll be ignored forever in this conversation. You want to start talking about how you go forward and what your issues are, that's fine. And by the way, thank you for the algorithm. Why is still saying none like that? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what that means. GM put together 2 different Super Bowl staffs and rosters. Yes. Yes. And get this. He's also put a dud in there. Hey, Anthony, let me ask you this. Your offensive coordinator, how do you think he's going to perform this year? How do you think he performs? How do you think he performs? You don't know? I don't either. How do you think Vic performs? I think Vic will do a great job. Okay? I think he'll do a great job. All right? And again, see this? This is when this guy gets put to a corner. Again, you get put over there now. Nick costs nothing. Patullo's the biggest liability? Wait a minute, Philly. I don't know that yet. I don't know if he's going to be a liability. I'm not putting an indictment on him on May 5th. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. That's my problem. Okay? Mike Tomlin's overrated. Well, then what's Nick? What's he do? Get this. Hey, Deshae, what is Nick Sirianni's number one role on the team? And don't tell me the players play for him. It's the dumbest comment, and it's a media comment, and it's so stupid. Players play for paychecks. They don't play for head coaches because they're interchangeable. And you never know when one's gone or you're gone. That's not how that works. Holy shit. You really think that? That a player who gets paid $3 million a week plays for his coach in the pros? What do you think this is, rah-rah in high school? I play for my coach. You're out of your mind. You play for your family. You play for people surrounding your team. And I'm talking about your personal team. An NFL team will move off of you in a minute as C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And you won't even know why. Because that's what the NFL is. Unless you've ever experienced it, you have no idea what you're talking about. The Eagles are no loyal to anybody on that team than they are to the people that are in the front office. You actually think they're more loyal to the players than they are to the front office personnel? You're out of your minds. That's not how pro sports works. I hate to bring you behind the curtain here, but very few players are given the courtesy of BG and Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox and Lane Johnson. Those are one of one. Very few people get that courtesy, in case you don't know. That's not what that is. Okay? It was a brotherly environment because the players created the brotherly environment, not the coaches. Sirianni preaching. You guys are the stupidest people on the planet. Leadership is when things are down also, not things are great. Bro, that guy, you know the problem that I have with Nick? Nick, when things are great, it looks like Nick's great. When things are bad, it looks like Nick is awful. There's no medium. He was horrific in 23. He learned. He could. Yes, I agree. Get this. This guy says I'm an effing hater. No, I'm telling you the way pro sports works. Have you ever received a professional paycheck? Fuck, I think I got one right here. Let me see if I still got one here. Oh, yeah. You ever received one of these? That's it could be another paycheck. That's a Canadian paycheck. Let's see here. Let me see here. Here it is. Yeah, here we go. You ever received one of these? Have you? Have you ever received one of these? Shut the fuck up. Telling me how it works. Okay. Look. Here's a Canadian one. And here's a professional NFL one. 10 grand. Sorry, Prince. I know you don't see many of these, but there you go. It's 10 grand. It's a bonus for being on the roster, including my paycheck. Players played for Nick. No. I played for this. And so does everyone else. Hey, wait. Once again, have you ever been paid one of these? Have you ever been given a $40,000 bonus? I showed you it. Okay? Have you? Today's money, it's 150 grand. How you doing? Yeah. Played for Nick. Yates, it's driving me. You guys think you're at Stanford Catholic High School or some bullshit. I mean, right? Wait, what's this? Sills, Nick's number one job is to translate boardroom into locker room and vice versa. Yes. He tells them what owner and GM want and the organizational mentality. That's what he means by culture. Yes. It's a skill that we can't really quantify, but we know what it looks like when it's done well. Yes, it was done well last year to a point, or 85 days ago, was done exceptionally. Yes. And when it's done poorly, it's done like the year previous when they were blown out by the Bucks. Yes. Absolutely true. Hey, son, like when you sit around with your boyfriend and you guys are going over and playing dolls and G.I. Joes, ask you something here, man. Do you guys just like somebody's talking about a football game? What do you look at the guy and say? You start ripping him because he's got what? A bad looking jock on? When you two guys are sitting around in jocks, or the four of you are in jock straps? I'm curious. Like, hey, young Beezy dude, listen, when you guys are sitting around in your jocks and you've got a pacifier in your mouth and you guys are trying to talk some football, I'm just curious. I mean, like, honestly, do you guys just start ripping on one another, or do you try to have a conversation? I'm sure there's many things you guys can talk about. I mean, you know, I honestly, man, can you imagine this guy here, young Biz, sitting in a jock with his four buddies, I guess? Hey, Bob, what do you think? I don't know, Clint. What would young Beezy's guys' names be? Clint, Harry, Skinny, Smoothie. Oh, man. Sills, no offense. I've watched the Steelers for over 20 years. I don't care who the coach is. You can't keep getting bounced in the playoffs every year. Cal, I agree. Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years, but there's only been 3 coaches. So when you see a coach and you're saying coach, there's only been 3 since 1969. Melvin. I'm sure there's a Melvin in the crew. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you give me my pacifier too? Hey, can you imagine this circle jerk with LJ and Beezy in it? That must look good. LJ and Beezy sitting around in a circle jerk. And one's got a Canadian jock on. How you doing? All right. Final question here. How many people in here? We're going to write this down here. Okay? Hey, look at this guy. Hey, dude, now you can go and now you can tell everybody, Sileo acknowledged me. Sileo acknowledged me. What a day. It's only been a week. He finally acknowledged me. Talk about. Hey, dude, you talk about uncomfortable. A guy goes rent-free, and he comes here to try to get acknowledged by the greatness of Big Sills is pretty unmanly. Wow, get this. Triggered. Bro, you would think that I respect you. I told you before, for you to upset me, that means I have to respect you, and I don't. How in the world would I respect you? Makes no sense. You acknowledged him. Come on, Sue. Sue, you're here every day. Don't go down that guy's route. How you doing? All right. So, no. Not greatest, greatness. Greatness. All right. Gary Cobb will join us at 4:30. The Eagles 2025 draft is what to fans. Now, by the way, there's no such thing as a bad draft on May 5th. Seals, you're a national treasure. This is gold. Thank you, Brian. Hey, Brian, can you imagine? Hey, brother, you're awesome. You imagine sitting around, you go to bed at night, you lay in bed and go, it's got to be the day he acknowledges me. Please, I can't go another week. Oh, my God, got him. You're like, got him. Okay, good. I'm glad it's the highlight of your day. Remember something. Think about this, Brian. This dude, LJ here, he got up this morning. He poured that shitty Canadian milk that he has. Then what he did was he logged on and said, Big Sills. Click. Then he waited. He waited for about 10 hours. It's getting closer to 2 p.m. Eastern. Oh, my God. Here's my boy. And he's sitting around waiting for me. I take a shower, take an LJ, wipe my Canadian. And then he's like, here he is. Let me inundate it now. 800 post. Got him. Yeah. I mean, it's so great. Holy cow. It's like a chick I used to tell, please stop knocking on my door at UM. Okay, it's 3:30 in the morning. Come on, I can't do it. I got practice in the morning. You know, Sue, what I'm talking about. How you doing? All right. Hey. The Eagle draft has been what? Now, look, it's not a failure. How would we know this? Right? How would we know this? Future? Present? Cost efficient? Gamble. Which one of those would you pick? The Eagles 2025 draft is what to you right now? Future? Present? Cost efficient or effective? Gamble. What would it be? Future. Okay, future. I'm going to go. We're going somewhere with this. Cost, future. Well, I'm looking for one. Future and gamble. I'm looking for one. Future. Okay, another future. Cost. Okay. What else? All of the above. Not, again, that's for WIP. We don't sit on fences here. Okay. Let's see here. Gamble. Okay. Future, if one. Okay. Future. Future looks like to be the big comment here. The draft was about finding versatility. Okay, versatility. So you think it's for now. Is that right, Twiz? It's for now? Okay. So present. You're looking for versatile guys now. Right? Okay. So let me ask you one more time here. What's more important to the Eagles? The 2025 season? Or the 2026 season when I have all those draft picks? Campbell's a future guy. They're not talking about him being a guy right now. Here's what I would say. I think this is about being cost efficient. How many people look at this draft and go, how many starters do you think, just personally, and by the way, I don't really know. There could be a bunch like a year ago. How many starters do you think you're going to get out of this draft this year? See this, what people are saying? You guys are looking at the 2026 season, and so are the Eagles. And that's why you've taken a step back this offseason. You're going to get 2 starters, 1 starter, okay? Makuba. If I had to bet, Makuba's going to be a starter. John Campbell, where are you playing him? In Dean's spot? Where does Jahad Campbell play? Who are the starters, Flexen? 2 to 3 starters? Okay, name them. Name the starters off this draft class. Makuba and Robinson. Okay? So then you think that Moro Ajomo is going to be beat out. Is that right? And Ty Robinson's going to take that job. So you think Ty Robinson, a rookie, is going to win that job. And do we think Makuba at safety? Okay, Makuba. You think it's going to be a day 1 starter. Okay? Where's Jahad Campbell play? Where are you playing him? Or are you making a new position for him? How are you using him? Hey guys, I think this is a fucking fair question. To keep that out there in limbo like that and not answer the question, well, we're going to maybe play him off linebacker and edge. What's his position? And I heard John go like this, you can't label him. Well, fuck, he's got to start somewhere on the field. Well, where does he start a game? So inside linebacker. So wait a minute. Edge. Are you telling me you're going to take who out of the game? Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith? Who are you taking off the field? Bro. He's got to have okay, let's pretend he's going to start. Where are you starting him? I'm not saying he didn't. Fine. And I'm not saying he's not good. Where are you starting him? Like when you line up for the first series on Thursday night, the first week of September, where's he starting? Now, that's albeit he gets in the game and he's ready. Who's he starting for? He's going to start over. So you're going to move this kid to end. Is that right? Unknown? So wait a minute. What do you mean unknown? You have no idea where he's going to start. Dean's spot. Okay. So Dean's out of the game of a guy who's a 3-down player. You're taking off the field. Is that right? Or are you playing a 4-3? Are you changing the scheme? You know, if you had 4 linebackers, you could play a 34, have 4 backers. Is that what you want to do? Who's the third one? How are you playing him? A 5-2? So you're changing everything you did a year ago. So get this. Here's my point to Senor. What you did a year ago, you've lost personnel and you're going to change a front for one guy. Okay, I'll say it again. Senor, where are you? Where's Senor? Where are you starting him? That's what I'm asking you. What am I saying? Where are you starting him in the first week of September? Eagles used Bond and Dean last year. Okay? Where are you starting him? Next to Bond. So Dean's out. Is that what you're saying? You're starting him next to Dean. Here's the base. A Jomo at end, Davis at nose, Carter at end, Smith at will, Bond at the inside backer, and Dean at the right inside linebacker, and Bryce Huff at the strong side outside linebacker, which are your edges. So you're taking Nakobe Dean off the field and putting Jahad Campbell in there. Is that right? Okay. No, wait. So now you're changing your scheme. Why can't you answer the question? Outside linebacker, says the Canadian. So you're going to play him in a position that he's second best at strong side linebacker, and you're going to play him in Bryce Huff's spot. Is that right? Okay. So you're playing him at strong side linebacker. Is that right? I'm just confused. Where the fuck are you playing him? What does it matter in May? If you can't figure out now, how are you figuring it out in training camp? What a stupid... You build your football team in the offseason. The payoff is in September. In case you didn't know, and obviously you don't know. But, oh, wait a minute. Weak side what? Bond is strong side. No. He is the right. He is the left inside linebacker right now in a base 34. And when they go to nickel, you have four guys with edge in the middle of the field with two high safety. I pointed this out last week to you. You guys don't even know where you're going to play your first-round draft choice. You have no idea as of right now where you're playing him. You've lost you've lost a lot of your secondary and your front four. And you're going to change a scheme, and you're going to change a player's position to put them on the field. Is that right? What's the good problem to have? Who are you taking off the field? Okay. How do you know this kid can play 3 downs? He won't be available for training camp. Joe goes like this. Fangio knows. How could Fangio know when he won't have him until the end of training camp? How does he know? He didn't know. Get this. Here's Joe's backwards ass thinking. He didn't know what he had in Zach Bond until the first week of the season. Campbell said in the press conference, I don't have a position. I'm a football player. So wherever is my answer. Okay. Where are you? If the game started, Damon, where are you starting him? It's a simple question. Where are you playing? Where are you going to, like, do you know when you play football or you have a softball team, there's a first baseman, a second baseman, a third baseman, and you put a guy in a starting role. Where's his starting role? At linebacker. So Nakobe's done. Is that right, Damon? Nakobe's done. He won't play any longer. Is that right? Edge. Okay. So the strength of the player is playing inside and off ball. You're going to put him at edge. Okay. I've never seen an absolute conversation go sideways with a simple question. You have no idea where to play him. Joker, what's that? I've never heard of that. What's that? Okay, so this is what you're gonna do, Damon. You're gonna go to a true 43. You're gonna play 3 backers, and you're gonna change up not only the personnel from a year ago. Now you're gonna change the front and go 43. Is that right? Okay. So change the personnel on the team. Now you're changing the scheme off the number one defense in pro football a year ago. How's that sound to you? You think you're creating more question marks for you? Play him like Parson. Are you sure he's that guy? It'd have been good to see in training camp. Here. This is a good question. Sills, where are you playing him? What do you think? Oh, I'm putting him in Dean's spot. It wasn't that hard a question for me. Nakobe's out of there. And by the way, if that kid can't beat Nakobe Dean out, there's a problem. There's a problem. Because then where are you playing him? Edge? If that guy can't beat Nakobe Dean out, you got a problem. Who's he going to do? Go over to Zach Bonds? Or are you flipping the defense upside down? Again, ask yourself the changes that I just said. Not only are you talking about changing personnel, now you've got to, now that's a good one here. Trust me, this is an unbelievable take by a guy who has L takes throughout his entire legendary career. Most versatile defense. That's a great take. So are you suggesting RC3? 1 week you play him inside backer. Next week you put him outside as an edge guy? Vic may go for that. That's not awful. That's not an awful take. And it's a matter of fact, what that creates a tougher matchup for the offenses that you're going to play. That's a good take. If that's how you're going to play, get this, guys. When it comes to Jahad Campbell, you may have to accept the fact that he is not a starter. It just depends on what the team is that week. He may come off the bench. He may be a guy that 1 week does this, 1 week does that, and guys are sitting. Maybe Nolan Smith sits 1 week. If Jalix Hunt, let me ask you this. If Jalix Hunt gets out of the gate like I think he may, and Nolan Smith is playing like some of you think he is, are you really going to pull one of those two guys off the field to put Jahad Campbell out there? Why would you do that? Why would I stunt the growth of Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt? Why? Because I drafted that guy 31st? That's counterproductive. That's counterproductive. This is not a terrible take either. Okay, I'm redshirting Campbell, not rushing him back unless he's healthy. So you're concerned about 26. Is that right, Twiz? 26. Like how he is. Okay. Guys, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to come to a conclusion on what you're doing with him. To sit there and say, hey, how about this? I don't have a position. I'm not a football player. Well, then if you don't have a position, you won't mind not starting. Because it just depends on what week it is. I may have you coming off the bench playing inside linebacker. I may have you coming off the bench the following week playing edge. Because you don't know right now who you're taking off the field. As of May 5th, you have no idea who's going to come off the field. Dean, Smith, Hunt, or Bryce Huff. Those are the only places he can play. Unless you're going and changing your front. Where are you playing him? Is my only question. And is he healthy? How can I build a team around and a defensive approach and know what position he plays when a guy's not available? Right now, you're talking theory shit. You have no idea. Nor do I. I'm just trying to get a handle on what they're going to try to do with him. Feels kind of like how Belichick ran the defense in New England. It was a chameleon, yes. I remember this with Belichick. What made him so good? I remember a running back gaining 200 yards. Hey, Bob, tell me if you remember this. There was a running back who gained 200 yards versus like the Jets or somebody. I forget what it was. This guy had like 200 yards rushing. Next week, Belichick didn't activate him. He wasn't active because they were going against a different style of defense. That's okay. If that's his role, I mean, are you changing the scheme, the personnel, and you think so? Wait a minute. For one guy, you're going to change the scheme, and you've lost half your secondary and half your front four, and you're going to change the scheme, and you think you're the number one defense in the NFL. How? We can't play 43 because we don't have 43 ends. That's another great take. And the base 34, Campbell's inside linebacker next to Bond. And nickel, he can slide to Sam and move Munda on to Mike. So you're taking Bond off the field? Get this. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. You get your personnel groupings now. You figure out who's going to be on special teams now. You figure out what substitution packages you're going to do now. You practice them in July in training camp. You play in September. The guy has no idea. Again, that's a guy that sits around and plays with his buddies in his backyard. And those guys are playing the jock straps. And then they go sit in the house and they sit around and watch the Bravo channel. I have no idea what he's talking about. Then he plays hopscotch with Dick Track. Shit, I have no idea, but I'm excited to see what Vic was so happy to draft him. Dude, he's a good player. Hey, Prince, nobody said he wasn't good. That means he knows how to use him. It's all unknown at this point. It's all unknown because you can't get on the field. That's what the unknown is. I mean, the kid's got to get reps. Again, I asked the question, will the Eagles defense be able to overcome the personnel losses and scheme change? You're trying to find a spot for your guy. Here. Me neither. Me too. I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it. Absolutely. No idea. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. Gary Cobb will join us at 43. Personally, I think we have a good problem. Okay? Well, how can you have a good problem when you don't know how to address your problems yet? Less worried about our new talent. And as long as they got the talent, how do you know they have the talent? I don't know that on May 5th. You don't know any of these players you drafted are going to be good enough to play in this league. You're assuming that. Vic will figure it out and we'll change the look to maximize the production. Okay. See, I don't think you have the production and the people to have the production you did a year ago on your current roster defensively right now. I do not believe that. I do not believe you have the versatility in your players that you lost and the playmaking ability. So, who's going to get the 6 turnovers in your secondary that Gardner Johnson had? Just, again, you could say whoever. Nothing's wrong here. Okay? Reed. So you think Reed's going to pick up the slack for Gardner Johnson? No wrong answer. No wrong answer here. Okay, Makuba, hopefully. Okay. So Makuba or Reed is going to pick up the slack for one guy. Who's going to pick up the versatility of being able to play all across the front with Milton? You guys miss out on what his importance is. You'll see it this year that he never had to come off the field. Playing a 43, 34, 52, and nickel and in dime. Because that's what you guys did in the Super Bowl. Okay, who's going to fill that role? Who's going to fill the versatility of Milton on your D line? Who? Tell me. Ty Robinson. Who else? So you think Ty Robinson's he's going to fulfill again, no wrong answers. No wrong answers. He's going to be able to play 7-5-3 techniques, Ty Robinson. And he's going to beat out Moro Jomo. And he's going to fill that role. Booker, Ajomo. Okay. So Ty Robinson, Moro Ajomo, and Booker are going to replace the flexibility and the versatility of Milton. 3 players. Well, so far we've got Reed and Makuba that are going to take and pick up the slack for CJ. Okay. Now you got 3 players for Milton. Okay. Who's going to pick up the versatility for Josh Sweat on the other side? No wrong answers. Campbell. Okay. When he plays. Hunt. Okay. So Campbell and Hunt. So 2 players are going to pick up the role of Josh Sweat and his versatility. Fair enough. Who's going to pick up Slay's ability to play in those nickel packages? Tell me who's going to pick up Slay's versatility at playing the corner? Tell me. Keeley? Okay. Who else? Keeley. Adoree. Okay, let's just stay there. So you got 2 guys picking up the slack for Gardner Johnson and Makuba and Reed. Then you've got taken up for Milton and his versatility, Ty Robinson, Ajomo, and Booker. For Sweat, you have Campbell and Hunt. Okay. For Slay, you're having Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo. All right. So my question is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players to cover 4 spots. Solid. You think 9 players are going to replace the production and versatility of 4 players? Is that right? Is that what you're saying here? Vic's got quite a job ahead of him. Okay? Four? No. Reed and Makuba for CJ. Robinson, Ajomo, Booker for Milton. Campbell and Hunt for Swift. Healy and Adoree Jackson for Slay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players are going to fill the role of 4 players. Okay? Ty Robinson is going to fill the role of Milton Williams. Do you really believe that? You believe that? Okay? Again, no takes wrong here. No takes wrong. Well, that's the chore you have. The offense will pick it up. Okay, Shakir says the offense is going to pick it up. So what are you going to change in the offense, Shakir, this coming season? What are you changing? That won you a Super Bowl, by the way. That style of play. What are you changing? What are you changing on that side of the ball to improve your football team? You downsized already in talent with Goddard. Fullback. Interesting. A fullback is going to improve your game. If you have a fullback, that means you have no third wideout. More passing. So get this. Shakir's attitude is, let's take the ball out of the hands of the guy who was instrumental in winning the Super Bowl for you guys and getting to that game, and putting it into the guy's hands who wasn't instrumental throughout the season last year. By the way, it's not a slam on Jalen Hurts. That guy had an iconic year. I'd take the ball out of Tom Brady's hand if I knew that guy could win me a Super Bowl. Hey, Tom, don't be butthurt. But if that guy can carry the mail, and you know what Brady would do too? Brady would say you're right. Brady would say you're right. The greatest thing about Tom Brady and how he won ball games, Tom could win a Super Bowl. Tom Brady's won a Super Bowl throwing the ball 153 yards, and he's lost one throwing one for over 500. That's all you need to know about him. He wouldn't be butthurt over that. Oh, you want to take the ball out of my hands? If we got somebody who can win the game, Tom was about winning the ball game. He wasn't about filling up a stat sheet. That's not what he was about. And some of you get butthurt over that when you hear, well, we're going to take the ball out of Hurts' hands. If Jalen's smart, which he was, go ahead. As long as it results in wins. Now, that's going to bug AJ because that means AJ doesn't get his touches. And as you know, by wide receivers and the relationship between Jalen Hurts, all seriousness now, the relationship between Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown, it's absolutely been different now because of what? A.J. Brown's the third most important player on the team. It's Barkley, Hurts, and A.J. now. They didn't win a Super Bowl with A.J. Brown being a part of that offense and that offensive attack. He was not anywhere in that. No. In the playoffs, the Super Bowl, yeah, he was good. The rest of the season, A.J. Brown was a dude. I mean, he was. Passing game was below average. It was the number one attack in running the football. By the way, no shade. It resulted in a Super Bowl. This is no shade. Hey, how could it be shade? I can't help it. AJ's not going to get his touches anymore. Now, again, Shakir wants to go back to throwing the ball. Why would you do that? Don't you want to do the things that win you the Super Bowl? Why would you change that? Why would you go back to the 2023 mentality of putting the ball in the air more when that didn't result in a Super Bowl? It resulted in a meltdown. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. I think Jeffrey Lurie kind of unzipped his zipper today when they were having him call into the BG Love Fest on WIP. Because he told John Ritchie one thing. What was it? And I thought that was the most important thing I heard. Besides Brandon Graham and all the stuff they were talking about. Here's the owner. I thought it was pretty interesting what he said. Here. Hey, Richie, I think you're going to love it. The return of the fullback is back. What's that tell you? You're going to see less 3 wideout sets and see more power formation with dual tight ends that can block. And it will be a they're going to change that offense, and they're going to give it a cosmetic look. You guarantee you that. You're going to see more 2 tight end set and a fullback in the backfield. And you're going to go power eye almost in running the football. And I'll tell you what, it'll make Hurts even more effective, like it did with Lamar Jackson a year ago in Baltimore throwing the ball. I mean, they're going to emphasize the run game more than they are the passing game, which is the right way to go about it. Why in the world would I want to get the ball in the air more when it results in turnovers? It's a higher turnover play. I told you this a month ago, 2 months ago. You're getting a cosmetic look, and the hiring of Kevin Patullo was the first sign of that. And then the owner this morning, hey, John Ritchie, you're going to love it. The return of the fullback is coming back this year. Those were his words. Well, you got to take a position off the field. They're going to take that 3rd wideout off like they did in Baltimore. They're going to run 2 tight end, and they're going to run the ball right at you because this is what they do great. It'll make Hurts better. The tight end position will be utilized. You know how? In the run game. And it should be. How much are you paying for that O-line? They're phenomenal run blockers. It's the best O-line in football. Get the best back in football. You may have one of the best running quarterbacks who can throw in recent time. Why wouldn't you run? And by the way, if Jalen Hurts throws the ball for 38 times in a game, you're going to win 10 games. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball 20 times, you may win 13 ball games and put yourself in the Final Four with a shot at winning the Super Bowl in a rebuilding year on defense. It's no shade. But to sit here and think, well, on what Khalid said, more passing, why would I do that? Why in the world would I go there when I just had a back and an offense prove that the passing game, when needed, we can use it? But 90% of the time, we're a run-oriented football team. Get this. Why do you think you blew the Chiefs out? Why do you guys think you blew the Chiefs out? You know why? Their number one objective was to stop that Eagle run game. That's not going to change next year. Every team is going to try to do that. So this is what I'm going to do. I don't believe you can. And nor do I believe every single team on your calendar that you have this coming season on teams you're going to play, I don't believe you have the defensive personnel to stop them. Why do you think teams like Minnesota got bigger in the tackle position? Because they know they got to play, if they do play the Eagles, they got to play them. Every team right now is loading up on D linemen and edge rushers. Hey, dude, if I'm or a team in the NFC East, you need to build my D line up. That's why the Cowboys are suck ass. They haven't built their D line up. The Giants are. Okay? The Giants in Washington are trying to build their D lines up. Why? If you can't compete against the Eagle O-line, you're finished. It's not the quarterback. It's the offensive line and the run game in Philly. I'm going to try to do everything in my... And by the way, do I want to give Saquon Barkley 368 or 400 carries this year? No. What I want to do is I want to make sure Barkley's yards per carry don't come down at 6.5 yards a carry. So if I get him at 280, 290, and he's still running at a clip at 6 yards a carry, that's just as effective as a 2,000 rushing season Ask Detroit that. Ask Detroit. The Giants think they got the next Lawrence Taylor. Yeah. You know what, Louisville Cards? You know what the kid needs to do? Stop worrying about grabbing Phil Simms' number or Lawrence Taylor's number and fucking go build a legacy to yourself. Build your own legacy. When you're in places like Philadelphia, New York Giants, Washington, Pittsburgh, the Rams, the Niners, the Dolphins, people have carved a legacy out. And it's important to the players and their families that carved those legendary legacies out. Who in their right mind would want to see anybody wearing 92 in Philly? Really? No. Who in their right mind would want to see that? Not me. I mean, hey, let me ask you this. Has the number 60 ever been passed out since Bednarik? I mean, has it? Has anybody worn 6? Did Berkey wear that? Berkey may have been the has that number ever been worn by anybody in the last 30 years? Number 60. I mean, have they? I'd be like this. I'm not wanting to see anybody wear 60 in Philly or 51 in Chicago. Okay? Hey, look, man, I don't mind his confidence. Carter's confidence. 66 Bergie, thanks. That's right. Wore that in Cincy, too. That's right. But he's wearing 60 in Philly. Dude, nobody wears 60 in Philly. Okay? Nobody wears 56 in New York. Nobody wears 51 in Chicago. And nobody wears 66 in Green Bay. It just doesn't happen. I mean, those are called legacies. Build your own. Guy hey, because I get it. You want to wear somebody's number and you want to, respect them. And you want to wear 23. Okay? Hey, LeBron, you're never going to be Jordan. Carve your own goddamn thing out. Brian Dawkins. Hey, you think they're going to pass out Brian Dawkins' number in Philly to anybody ever? No matter who you are. You think Brian Dawkins' number gets passed out? I mean, hey, think anybody's ever going to wear 99 in Philly? Do you really think that? Nobody's wearing that number behind me. These kids today, hey, you might have to wear your jersey. No, man, go carve your own deal out. I would never let a guy wear my jersey. If I was somebody like Reggie White or Lawrence Taylor, hey, man, you can wear my jersey, but I'm not shading my legacy. 56 is legendary. Why are you even talking about a dude who fake injuries like the bum? Hey, man, I'll tell you what, that guy, he is the greatest athlete of all time for longevity. When it comes to basketball, he's LeBron. Give me MJ any day. Brady's not only the greatest winner, he's also the greatest longevity quarterback of all time. How would you like to be this? Are you the most talented player in the history of the position? No. But what do you have? I have the most titles, the most records, regular season, postseason, And get this one. Here's the most important one. Tom Brady has the most wins in the regular season and the most postseason wins of all time. What didn't he do? Like, what didn't that guy have? And he wasn't the most talented player at that position. But he owns everything. Got it. It's the only sport you don't have to be the best at when it comes to athleticism. Shit, I'll take Kobe over LeBron. If you had to win one basketball game with 48 minutes on the line, who you taking, Mamba or LeBron? Because you know what I would love about Kobe? If he lost, he'd fight you. I love sore losers. Hey, LeBron or Kobe Bryant. I think that's actually funny. Michael Jordan or Kobe. That's a battle. Those two guys, that's what. Hey, Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan in their primes. Whew. Man. Michael Jordan, LeBron. I got MJ in that one. Yeah, I'm going to take MJ. All right. So let me do one more thing here before I look at, before we get in Xander here. Hold on. I got a thing here. I got to take a look at one more thing here. Here it is right here. I got to take a look at that engagement ceremony one more time. There it is. Look at this here. There's Kobe Dean. Yeah, look at there's Devontae. Shit, is that Isaiah Rodgers? That sure is. Look at all those guys in there, man. Shit, what? Where's His Highness? We got King James, now we got King Hertz. Where is he, man? Never leave it up to the Eagles not to have drama on anything here. There's probably a scheduling conflict, and I'm sure Xander has the update on the scheduling conflict because I know there was The View. There was a whole bunch of other shit, and I know Xander watches The View. So, I mean,